it's story time again. This is Raven, and welcome to another episode. So, I'm going to tell the story of a fallen kingdom. This is one of a series I'm starting called The Shelf Stories, which I have a collection of animals. They're plastic animals I collect on my shelf, and I create stories from looking at them. The Fallen Kingdom surrounds a world where the king and queen always have to be a pair of a deer and a zebra. It doesn't matter which is which, but it's always been that way. So, let us go on with our story. Now, as the bloodline has continued in one way for many generations, a queen who was a zebra gave birth to a very large and healthy litter. There were 3 girls and 2 boys. The boys were a young deer and a young horse, and the girls were a young horse, a young zebra, and a buffalo. Now, she wasn't the most interesting, but she definitely was quite weird. No one could understand her, but she was the most level-headed of them all. Now, the male was actually a zebra. The young male, I forgot that part, but so her siblings, though they spent time with her, she was basically not very well known. But her mother decided that she wanted this young child to be the heir. She told her husband her plan to make her the princess, her the royal heir that shall take their throne. The king was very confused at this. For how would someone like her rule the kingdom? And he realized she was his daughter. He wanted the best for her. So what should he do? He decided that if she became queen, she would never be able to find a mate for love. So he told her if she can find a mate by the time for her coronation, she shall be crowned queen. If she can't, then it shall fall to the eldest brother, the deer, to take the burden. Now, as they grew, none of the siblings knew of the chance that their youngest could become the sole heir. They all trained and they all knew the ways of the kingdom. The eldest son thought he had more of a chance than anyone. He let his arrogance go to his head. He never understood why his parents and everyone else seemed to flock over to his younger sister. She was very wise, often watched over them, took care of them, and was often the leader of the group. And then, one night, a traveler came. He was a young horse, brown, wavy fur, and black, shiny mane and tail. His eyes were a daunting black as well. He came in and asked for a place to stay. The king and queen wondered if he would take one of their beautiful children, their beautiful daughters, as a mate. The youngest, the buffalo, slipped away. She thought she did not have a chance. She wished to be alone. The traveler never understood this, for he saw her as beautiful, but she was always gone. Beauty short-lived, he thought. Sure, he courted the others, but never with his true heart. And one day, he went out on a cliff and he met her. She was staring at the moon. He just stood beside her and stared. They looked into each other's eyes, and She knew that he really did think she was beautiful by the way he looked at her. And he wasn't so bad himself. That night, if a horse and a buffalo really can, they would have shared their first kiss. They fell in love. And a year later, he proposed to her, asked her to be his mate. Now, the young buffalo then told him of how, if she had a mate, she would become the queen. She would be the sole heir and be the princess until her parents passed on the burden. She went over and told her parents of this, and her parents announced that she was the princess. She was the heir, and she would take over the role as queen, and her mate the role as king. She was given a crown, and she was known widely. Everyone worshipped her. Everyone was surprised, shocked, but no one complained. Everyone's open to new things. Well, her brother wasn't. Finally, the day came and she became the queen. Her and her mate took over the spot in the palace, and of course, as when young horses get to a certain age, her siblings went to the outsides where they must spend the rest of their life unless they become royalty. Her older brother was very, very angry. He was a stag. He deserved to be the king, and he knew it. At Antler Point, he made the man who had polished all their hooves the day of her coronation and made him do his antlers and his hoofs. After that, he thought, antlers were a sign of royalty, hooves were a sign that you were sophisticated. Then, he decided he would do something even worse. He got his head colored black and the mark of royalty across his shoulder. The mark of royalty meant you were a king or a queen. And a head that was colored black meant you had your kingdom overthrown. He ran. The polisher told of his deceits. But the stag had found his way to the doorway of a young zebra. He told her the story, but all backwards. In this, he was to be heir. When his younger sister used her power against him, she demoted him, and when he had just gotten ready, she had his head colored black and she claimed the kingdom. He was able to claim her heart, and soon a young son was born to them. He was convinced that if he could amass an army, his young son could rightfully take the place that he had once wanted. And far away in the kingdom, a son was also born, one that would become a great king that would fight a battle later on. Now, that's for another shelf story way down the road. For right now, this is where our story ends and where our book closes. Now, I do have to say, none of these works can be copied or used. I own these stories, I own the characters, and so on. None of these ideas are borrowed, and none of them can be borrowed. These are my ideas. Please respect that. Goodbye. The Story Raven has closed the book. And, well, the end.